Content creation has been the most rewarding and the most stressful thing I've ever done since going through the process of creating videos. And with the constant struggles I have had with streaming to Twitch or YouTube, consistency hasn't been one of my strong suits. And for some reason I tend to put more effort into creating update videos for the channel rather than actually making content. So I'm here today to set the record straight, establish my plan, and finally give my passion the love and commitment it deserves. So from here, I'd like to lay out my plans for 2025 so that you have a strong understanding of where I began in 2024 and what the future looks like moving into the new year. So without further ado, let's get into it. So 2024 was, or in this case is, a weird year to say the least in terms of content creation for me. My last video dropped back in May with a retrospective of Marvel vs. Capcom, a game that is near and dear to my heart. And while I was happy that I was able to release the video in a timely manner, there are aspects of the video that I feel I could have done better on. While there are well-made points on the video and the flow feels really good in some aspects, I can't help but wonder what the video could have been if a little more love and attention was put into that video and extended past the 5-minute runtime. And with the release of the Marvel vs. Capcom fighting game collection, I'd like to revisit the game as well as the other games included and make a more cohesive review that will include more than just one title, so be on the lookout for that next year. This year though, I started to dive more into this streaming world on Twitch. I've streamed a handful of times here and there with mixed results, so it's led me to be consistently doing maintenance on the channel that I've had more streams adjusting settings to make sure the stream is okay rather than actual gameplay. It's been a lot, but I think I've started getting the hang of it just a little more, so for those who have seen my streams, thank you. It truly means a lot that there are people who will stop and say what's up or just chill out in the back and watch me play games. So in 2025, I want to be more consistent with streaming to provide additional content to the structured video reviews and retrospectives that I produce on YouTube. These issues extend to the Uncooperative series as well. During a recent content refresh, I was wiping my hard drive clean to make room for projects that I was in the midst of making, and during that wipe, I deleted the footage of the second half of the Uncooperative series, and I have no way of getting that footage back. Austin and I have been in contact, and the plan going forward is to continue the series in some way, and while I haven't discussed the lost footage just yet, I'm sure that a revisit of the games lost will be in the plans for the future. These plans for the return of Uncooperative are still in the planning stages, so I can't make any promises just yet, but updates will roll out as they come. So if you haven't seen the previous Uncooperative videos, please go watch those. Austin and I had a lot of fun making these videos, and they have a special place in my heart as my first steps into the content creation world. Going back to the topic of YouTube and Twitch, I'd like to present a new structure that I feel would be beneficial for not only you, the audience, but for me, the creator as well. So let's start off with Twitch. As stated before, the original idea was to have Twitch and YouTube exist in this co-habitual state where the footage would be captured on stream and then made into a YouTube video when I completed it. The problem again was the issues with making the stream more stable for people to view, and although the footage would be intact for recording purposes, the idea was for everybody to see how I felt about the game in real time. Another struggle of mine was that I also went through this constant battle of choosing games to play for either reviewing or streaming, trying to answer certain questions of, is this game enough to review? Is it worth my time playing? Will I get viewership off of this? And I realized that I had forgotten the whole reason I started this journey. The idea was never to make money or to be famous in any sort of way, and this battle of ideals resulted in gaming taking the backseat, which is the opposite of what I was originally intending. Previous personal environments where my passion for the medium was either laughed at or disregarded left me in a state of not knowing what I wanted to do with it anymore. I wanted to build my own community of people who could come together and enjoy the medium and have intellectual conversations about the game I was playing, or get recommendations on games that I should try next, or older games that I haven't played through yet. That's where I want to get back to, and limiting the two platforms would be more detrimental to me than allowing them to exist as their own individual entities. So going forward, I will be readjusting the process of my reviewing and streaming. YouTube will be my home for retrospectives on games that I want to go back and play, and Twitch will be my home for newer games that I am currently playing alongside the aforementioned retro games. I would also like to state that these guidelines are not exclusive to these platforms in the sense that retro games can and will be streamed from time to time, depending on any sort of projects that I might have going on at that time. This also goes for newer games that I would like to play and review in my personal time. This allows for anything to be on the table and allows me to freely pick and choose what games that I would like to complete on a schedule that I am most comfortable comfortable with. YouTube will be on a more project-based schedule, with Twitch being the way that you can keep up with what I'm doing while waiting for the next video to be released. So be sure to subscribe to the McShonald's YouTube channel, as well as following the Twitch channel as well. While writing this script, I had a few ideas circle around in my head about what I would like to complete and review, which leads me to my final topic, which I would like to discuss. I talked extensively of the challenges and the ideas that I have for the channels, and I thought I'd give a little bit more insight on that, about what you can expect for the rest of 2024 and into 2025. So for Twitch, the rest of 2024 will be more geared towards maintenance for the overall improvement of the stream itself. While I'm happy with the progress that is being made with the stability of the stream during the beginning hours, full stability over the entire time frame is what I'm going for. The projected time frame I'm going for is around 4 to 5 hours depending on the night, but the overall issue that I face is the fact that around the 2 to 3 hour mark, the stream suffers. So I'm not entirely sure if it's the internet or the hardware that I have that is causing the issues, so I'll be looking to address that going forward. During that time, there will be a variety of games that I'll be testing out across all the consoles that I have currently, and even future consoles that I will get, as my next big console purchase will be the PlayStation 5 Pro. Hopefully that will be a smooth transition from the base PS5, but only time will tell. Twitch will give me a platform to play newer games as they release, so that way I don't have to restrict my time to a project that I'm working on. So now, on to YouTube. One area of content creation that I have been finding myself gravitating towards more and more throughout time has been that I love going back to games that I played growing up. The amount of times that I have beaten Kingdom Hearts 1 is insane, because I love that franchise so much. I go back to my favorite console ever, the Sega Dreamcast, to play games like Power Stone 2 or Jet Grind Radio, and expressing that love for these older games is something that I'm not alone in. I have a favorite YouTuber, known as Retro Rebound, that looks at older and newer titles and does retrospectives, which inspired me to follow a similar channel format in regards to content. This helps in the fact that retro games typically have a shorter time frame to beat, when today's games pretty much make you commit to them for so long that it's almost like a brief marriage you experience each time an ambitious new game comes out that takes like 12 plus hours to beat. My inspiration for streaming comes from my favorite streamer, Maximilian Dude, who is a big fan of Marvel vs. Capcom, which is, again, one of my favorite fighting game franchises. And the combined video game taste of both content creators has provided me with a ton of content to enjoy that, again, gives me inspiration to follow in their footsteps in my own way. Which leads me to an announcement that I have been pondering on, and I'm happy to say that my first project is set to release in January of 2025, so here's a sneak peek.
Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics.
At the release of this video, my old Marvel vs. Capcom retrospective has been delisted, and I will be undergoing a revamped retrospective of not only Marvel vs. Capcom, but the rest of the Marvel vs. Capcom collection. I released the original retrospective a month before the announcement, and now that the game has been released, I want to go back through and give a more proper and extensive retrospective of all the games in this collection. Another announcement that I'd like to make is that I now have a projected release schedule for my future videos. For 2025, I plan to release at least one video a month for the entire year. Before, I would just kind of start playing games and record them before ultimately dropping them due to the scheduling conflicts that I have had in the past, and I would get a little too ambitious, leading to nothing getting done. I would like to pump out more videos at a later time, but one per month is the most reasonable I can be with myself for the time being, and the release dates will be announced closer to the projected time frames, so stick around for those. So I'm glad to get all that off my chest, and now it's time to wrap up this video and put a nice shiny bow on it. This video was a long time in the making. I didn't want this to be a typical update video where I promise things will change without giving some sort of insight on what actually will change. Being in a more comfortable environment that is allowing my creativity to flourish more will be the biggest advantage that I will have, so really the only thing that will hold me back is myself. I'm happy with the continued progress that I'm making, so with the roughly 2 months that I have left in 2024, it will allow me to get a jumpstart on 2025, so that way I can keep to this schedule and promise to myself and you guys, my audience. So I want to end this video by saying thank you to everyone who has stuck with me up to this point. It's been an eye-opening experience for sure, and your continued support is genuinely heartwarming. I hope that you appreciate the hard work and dedication that I will put into this, and hopefully the results match the words I'm putting out there. Remember to like and subscribe to the McShonald's YouTube channel and the McShonald's Twitch channel for more content, and I will see you very soon. Stay safe, everyone.